Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Frank Morano. I want to start by saying this in response to the mayor's proposed budget. I appreciate the mayor taking the time to brief members of the city council in person today. That's how government should work, openly, directly, and respectfully. Too often in this city, major decisions are made behind closed doors, and taxpayers are the last to find out. So I give him credit for that. And I was also encouraged to hear him reiterate his support for property tax reform, something I've long advocated for, something my predecessor, Joe Borelli, campaigned on, and something Staten Island homeowners desperately need. Our property system is outdated, unfair, and absolutely needs to be fixed. There's no reason that somebody with a $1.5 million brownstone in Park Slope should pay less in property taxes than my mother does in Woodrow. But let's talk honestly about what was presented today by the mayor. The mayor has proposed a $127 billion budget, the largest in New York City history. Let me repeat that. The largest budget in our city's history. And yet, despite record spending, we're being told there's a gap. And that solution is, you're going to love it. I don't know if you've ever heard this before. Higher taxes. He has offered two paths forward: raise income taxes and corporate taxes through Albany. That's something that we need the permission of the state legislature for. Or, you're going to love this one, raise property taxes right here at home. That's something we can do on our own. I oppose both, but I especially oppose raising property taxes because property taxes hit Staten Island families directly and families throughout the rest of the city. They hit seniors on fixed incomes. They hit young couples trying to raise a family. They hit small business owners who are already struggling with inflation, regulation, and uncertainty. You can't just pass the bill to homeowners every time government overspends. At some point, government needs to live within its means, just like every family in Staten Island already does. And here's what really concerns me. Just weeks ago, we were told the city was facing a $12 billion budget cap. Now suddenly it's either $7 billion or $5 billion, depending on how you count. What changed? Did government suddenly become more efficient overnight? Did spending magically disappear? Or were the numbers being used to create fear and justify higher taxes? That kind of inconsistency damages public trust. Because if City Hall can't clearly explain the problem, taxpayers shouldn't be expected to blindly accept the solution. And according to the mayor's own financial plan, the city is already projecting billions of dollars more in property tax revenue over the next few years. So let's be honest, this isn't about survival. This is about priorities. If raising taxes was the key to success, New York City would already be the best run government on planet Earth. But instead, we still have potholes, we still have sanitation issues, we still have quality of life problems. And taxpayers are being asked to pay more anyway. That's not fair, and it's not right. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. We don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem. When government gets more money, it rarely becomes more efficient. It becomes more comfortable. And that has to change. Before we even think about raising taxes, we should be freezing non-essential hiring. We should be eliminating wasteful and duplicative programs, auditing every agency for inefficiency, reducing bloated administrative costs, and focusing on the core responsibilities of government: public safety, sanitation, infrastructure, quality of life. Not expanding bureaucracy, not expanding political programs, and not expanding the burden on taxpayers. Staten Island homeowners already carry a heavy load. We're the borough of homeowners. We don't have luxury high rises shielding us from tax increases. When property taxes go up in Staten Island, families feel it immediately. I know mine does. It affects whether they can stay in their homes. It affects whether young families can afford to buy here. And it affects whether Staten Island remains the middle-class sanctuary that it's always been. We can't allow City Hall to balance its budget on the backs of Staten Island homeowners. Government should operate the same way families do. When times are tough, you tighten your belt, you prioritize, you eliminate waste. You don't just demand more from the people paying the bills. Because make no mistake, this isn't government money. It's your money. It belongs to the people. And government has a responsibility to spend it wisely. I am ready to work with the mayor on real solutions. And he said us a lot of other things today that I thought were prudent in terms of getting fiscal efficiency in order and getting more of the agencies to try to find 1.5% cuts. I support meaningful property tax reform as he does. I support reasonable budgeting, and I support making government more efficient and accountable. But I will not support raising property taxes on Staten Island families. Not now, not next year, not ever. Staten Islanders did their job. They balanced their household budgets. Now it's time for City Hall to balance theirs. No more excuses, no more scare tactics, and no more treating taxpayers like an endless ATM. We need discipline, we need accountability, and we need common sense. Thank you. That's my 2 cents.